Now, the Googans are always fun to watch out there on the water as we never know what to expect, but one thing you can expect for sure is the Googans are gonna give her hell, and by doing so, many times they're basically going to either sink or virtually sink their vessel. Now, I know what you're thinking. BG, you can't sink a tune. It doesn't mean the Googans aren't gonna try. Welcome back, crew, to this episode of Googans of the Week. Now, there are many ways you can see the Googans sink a boat. One, they can forget the drain plug. That is obviously the most easy way. But two, this is another situation here where you're on the sandbar and all of a sudden you've got your boat angled wrong and weight starts coming over the stern of the vessel and you find yourself in a little bit of trouble. Or, back to the basics, again, the drain plug is the easiest one. If you forget that drain plug, things are going to go wrong pretty quickly. Now, of course, another way the Googans can sink the boat is leave the drain plug in, but not leave the bilge pumps turned on.
Oopsie.
Now, as many of you have mentioned in the past in the comments, you can't really sink a tune. And as we mentioned at the beginning of this video, that doesn't mean it's going to stop the Googans from trying to do so. But when we talk about unsinkable, in theory, many boats the Googans are in aren't really sinkable. Most foam-filled boats you can't really sink either. The only advantage they have over the pontoon is, well, the pontoon sometimes can start to fall apart if you beat it a little too hard. As to where here, you can run this thing through just about anything, and as long as the motor hangs on, which it didn't, you will be okay. Now, of course, sinking boats is a Googan specialty, but there's other things the Googans do as well. If they can't get out there and sink the boat, don't worry, they'll get out there and see if they can go ahead and try and sink themselves, either by jumping or possibly even maybe just falling off the boat. Don't get me wrong, the Googans sometimes will sink themselves intentionally, other times they'll do it on accident. Now, fortunately in this situation, our Googan was able to pull off the save. Now, if the Googan can't sink themselves, it doesn't mean they can't get that sinking feeling. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get a sinking feeling when you're out there enjoying a day of boating that don't require you actually sinking the boat. I mean, you can just have a bad day. Maybe you got a little stuck on the beach, or maybe you were watching the skier a little too hard, not what was in front of you. Or maybe that sinking feeling out there in the water will come from just coming in just a little too hot.
Oh my God.
Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Googans of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Sleigh Wagoneer, Southwest Florida Shelling, Stephen Landry, Stephen Peterson, Talking Golfing to Me, Ted Yatson, Tobos, Tranquila Aruba, Wayne Saxon Jr., Wedlines Only, and ZLife93 did this week. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.